action.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Flying on Fumes. Today,
Welcome to Flying on Fumes.
I'm Mick, this is Sebastian.
Hey guys.
Today we're going to be doing a review on the latest hit movie to come out of the Star Wars franchise, The Last Jedi. Been looking forward to this one for 2 whole years and it has absolutely delivered.
There's been a lot of reports over the last few weeks since the release. A lot of full-on fans with mixed emotions, being really excited. A lot of expectations for the movie to live up to. And we just thought we'd give it our own 2 cents after what we experienced.
And you know what? There's a lot of vocal haters out there, but all in all, what did that movie set out to do? It set out to give us a good Star Wars experience, and did that do that? Yes, I think it did, and this is exactly why I think it is.
Now, just before we get going, I just want to make sure that we have the spoilers alert warning. Don't you think that that's something we should do?
I think that's fair enough.
Yeah. So, spoilers alert. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. Or if you haven't watched it and you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. And
more importantly, if you haven't watched it, what are you doing? Watch it now!
Yeah. Do you live under a rock?
Alright, so first things first, let's go to the scene that's got everyone talking.
Yep.
What of the Leia scene?
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of things about the Leia scene. It was sort of a scene that was built up a lot, obviously for many reasons, and we find out that all of a sudden Leia has these awesome superpowers.
She didn't need any training whatsoever. I mean, they hinted at it back in the original trilogy. They said, "The Force is strong in my family. I have it, my sister has it." Why is it such a surprise to everybody that she suddenly has these Force powers? And it's great, they're finally exploring that it's not just Luke that has Force powers. Everyone has the Force powers. And that's the whole point of this movie. The Force can come from anywhere. Within the Skywalker family, within the extended universe, within Rey's heritage, wherever that is now.
It was actually quite cool that she had actually Jedi powers, and we saw her use them when she needed to use them most.
And we can't really talk about one Skywalker without talking about the other one either.
Yeah.
So I see, even Mark Hamill's getting really into it with, this isn't really my Luke Skywalker. And I see a lot of people out there complaining that this isn't the Luke Skywalker we've got in the extended universe, whether or not that's still canon up until now. And a lot of people are very disappointed that he's now this jaded Jedi, and obviously that changes at the end of the movie. But is that really so much of an issue?
I actually, to be honest, I was born a Star Wars fan, essentially. I watched the movie 1,000 times, all of the originals. I had all the toys and everything. I did play the Knights of the Old Republic, which is obviously like before the originals. So I sort of went into this movie without the expectations that I think a lot of the fan base will have gone into it with. And no matter how ridiculous some of the parts seemed in the films, it took us away to this amazing space adventure, and there was something special about it. And I really felt like this movie gave that to me.
And that's the important thing at the end of the day. It was never a perfect franchise to begin with. There were plot holes in the original trilogy, there were plot holes in the prequels.
Yeah.
But did I leave the movie thinking I had a very enjoyable, authentic Star Wars experience? And the answer is yes. There were so many great points in that entire movie. The point where Holdo's light forcing through the Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Like, fine, fair enough. Maybe light forcing through Star Destroyers is a very strange thing given no one's done it up until now.
We've never seen them at such a desperate stage, and it wouldn't ever make sense for them to use up a huge command ship to use as a weapon, because everybody knows that these command ships cost a lot of money to make. They have to have people look after the ships, so it'd be a huge waste and a crazy move to do that. But now we're seeing that the rebels have gone down to 20 people by the end of this movie, and she does it because it's the only way that they're going to keep the spark alive. And it was a huge sacrifice in a way, and I felt that really brought out the desperation of the situation.
And at the end of the day, did it make for an amazing scene when the whole theater and the actual movie itself went silent for a good 5 seconds and everyone was just in awe at, did I just see this happen? Because that's exactly how I felt when I watched that scene for the first time, and everyone was clapping afterwards, gasping in shock. It was just a very classic Star Wars, did that just happen? Yes, it did moment.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's really all it's about for me. And I think what we're forgetting is, it's a trilogy. The whole idea of a space opera, it's got 3 acts, and the whole story is not told until the end of the 3rd act. If we were to judge every single movie based off the merits of the first 2 movies, the original trilogy would have ended with Luke losing an arm and just finding out that Darth Vader's his father, and then we've got nothing else to go on. If we ended after the second movie, then we're still stuck with going, is Palpatine evil? Who is this Palpatine person? Why is he relevant? And now, we're 2 movies in, they've finally justified Kylo Ren. He's not just a crappier version of Darth Vader they've thrown together for the purposes of a new movie. He's this new character in his own right, who is essentially a sport brat, but it's amazing in its own way. It's saying, no, this movie is not going to be talking about who the main character's actual parents are anymore. We're going a different angle. It's not going to be about all these convoluted plots like
Yeah, what kind of movie sequel spends the whole time talking about who the parents were of the person in the movie? Like, that would be really, really boring. Some of the most amazing things in this franchise have always remained mysteries, and I think we should respect the mysteries and things that we might not ever find the answer to.
And I think after The Force Awakens, we were looking at it going, how is this all going to build up to Rey turning Kylo back to the light side and they're having this massive confrontation with Snoke? But who cares how it turns out? It's going to be predictable. Well, no, this movie's turned out 180. It's not predictable anymore. Kylo is now, in his entire own right, the enemy. Rey is in her own right, now the Last Jedi. And I have no idea what's going to happen in the last film, and that's the best part. I'm going to go into it
Exactly.
with my expectations, and I'm going to be blown away.
Some people have mentioned that you only be able to watch this movie once, and then after, because you already know what's going to happen, that it's not good. That is not true. I watched the movie again a second time, and I loved it even more. And that scene where Rey and Kylo and Snoke are all in Snoke's chamber, and the tension there, and the drama and the manipulation that Snoke is putting into Kylo's mind, and how Rey is just rebelling against this, and she's holding up this strength, and she's demonstrating her fortitude against this huge amount of evil power. It's just such a climactic scene, and the second time watching it, it was even more intense for me. And even though I knew it was going to happen, it was still a really, really awesome scene.
And at the end of the day, that's all the Star Wars franchise is about. You go in, you want to watch a good Star Wars movie, and you want the experience. I came out of the movie getting that. Yes, I understand there's a lot that the movie might not have done that fully impressed you, but you know what? It did enough to make me leave the movie thinking, man, I'm so glad I watched that. I will
put up. I think, or maybe maybe I'll put up this now. I filmed myself coming out of the second viewing, and I just had that feeling I had when I was a little boy, thinking about wanting to be a Jedi and, you know, have a lightsaber and learn the Force. And I walked out of that theater feeling exactly the same way.
Going home, wanting to grab broomsticks out of the air.
Exactly. I want to get a lightsaber. I might actually buy one of those like little hobby, like the proper hobby lightsabers. Like you can actually have a lightsaber battle. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about some of the philosophy underlying this film. Do you want to maybe discuss a little bit about that? But what I think this film did really well, and linked it together with the character development and also the story arc, was this feeling of renewal, of self-discovery, taking into what's happening before, but knowing that the most important thing that is going to affect the future is what we have now, and who we are now, and what our purpose is now. And it doesn't matter where you come from or who your parents are. Your sense of purpose comes from you and where you are. And I thought that was a really, really interesting thing that the movie talked about. I mean, obviously you have Rey, who wants to discover who she is, and there's that expectation that when she sees her reflection, that she might see her parents or her greatest fear, and all you see is her.
And that is her greatest fear, to find out that she is just Rey.
And that she is just Rey, and that she is scared of finding that out, that she wasn't related to somebody special or with superpowers or anything like that. And then, and finding that out, and that almost gave her strength when she found that out.
And if you just listen to Luke's lessons throughout the whole thing, he's directing it as much to Rey as it is to the audience. This is not going to go the way you think, and it did not go the way you think.
Exactly.
Him telling us the Force, it's everywhere. It's not something that just belongs to the Jedi, and it's arrogance to think it just belongs to the Jedi.
Exactly.
That was the whole point of the movie. Anyone can spring up to become a magical Force user out of nowhere. Rey didn't have to be Rey Kenobi or the reborn ghost of Anakin or whichever fan theory that you were following up to that point. She just amazing because she's Rey. It's not because she's got some magical lineage. You don't have to be of some magical Jedi lineage to become that powerful. And that was the whole point of that last scene as well. You can bring down every single Jedi. You can tear down the entire Sith Order. There will be new people springing up to re-inherit the legacy, just like is happening in the Star Wars franchise right now. We're having this new whole generation of people coming through, and the whole point of it is we're not trying to repeat everything that happened in the original trilogy. We're trying to bring Star Wars through to a new generation whilst keeping all the magic of the universe, and that was the purpose of the series. It was a rebirth for the characters, and it was a rebirth for the franchise.
And it really had a lot of like learning lessons. I think every good movie should have an underlying sort of lesson in life, if you will. And I think in this particular movie, how important it is to not expect for something to occur, to not have your hope set on what you expect will occur. And things can still be amazing and adventurous and heroic, going down a pathway that you have no idea about, and that can sometimes be a lot scarier and more difficult to confront. And the film, I thought, was beautiful in sort of teaching that to me. And I think Luke was teaching that to Rey, but also I think we saw that from Yoda in his lesson with Luke when he goes back and he throws Luke a curveball, because Luke sort of threatens to Yoda, look, I'm going to go back and I'm going to burn down the Jedi Temple. And Yoda goes, you know what? I'm just going to do it now, and I want to see how you react to it. I want to see if you really, if you're really going to burn it down, and let's see how you then overcome that problem that I throw into your face. And I thought that was awesome. And he just sits there giggling and he watches Luke, and that was kind of cool, that old relationship between the master and student.
And they're rekindling the very, very big problem that started the whole Anakin problem in the first place, the whole problem with the Jedi Order from the very start, which is you've got all these amazing, really wise Jedi Masters like Yoda, like Obi-Wan, but how do they pass on that knowledge to the next generation? Fine, I might be really great at lightsaber duels and really smart at making decisions, but it's not easy training up someone to become essentially your successor in the ways of the Jedi. And that's the whole point. Obi-Wan failed when he tried to raise Anakin like that. Luke failed with Ben Solo, whether or not Snoke did anything funky to mess that up. And it's a whole tale of redemption. Luke is now redeeming himself with everything he's doing with Rey, and as Yoda said himself, Ben Solo failed you, but Rey will not. And that's going to be the whole purpose of this movie, and I am just so looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm totally looking forward to it. A few other things that I thought were really, really cool. I thought the ships were awesome. The bombers were really cool. That whole sort of concept at the beginning with the squadron of bombers is coming in and facing off the dreadnought. That was just awesome. One of the best sort of ship battles I've ever seen. I thought all the new ships were cool. I thought Snoke's, they've discovered these old sort of space skis that they've sort of, no one's used them in a while, and they're falling apart, and then Poe like sticks his foot out of it, and he's kind of like, what is going on? I just, love that. These sort of ramshackled up. Yeah.
The whole red sand idea, that was such a beautiful decision. And they did so much with it. It looked nice on cinema. It let them go into that massive red motif with all the posters and everything, and made us question, what is this going to bring to the series? Why is everything red? Is there some kind of evil undertone to this whole movie? And then the way they even played it into that last fight scene between Luke and Kylo, with Luke not leaving footsteps in the red sand, is such a subtle hint.
Yeah.
When Kylo slashes through Luke and then leaves that massive red streak on the sand as though it was all blood that just came through. But then it's not. It was just a very, very smart decision, and I'm glad that there was just so many smart decisions in this film.
Another point that I've seen some reviewers talk about is Captain Phasma. They were sort of saying that she kind of sucked this time. Look, I watched it the second time. She doesn't have a lot of screen time during the conflict, but that scene where she's fighting both Finn and Rose together, and they're both, resistance fighters, so they're both, and Finn's obviously a fully trained stormtrooper. When she faces off those two of them, she actually looks really, really cool. And she's totally dominating both of them, if it wasn't for the surprise where Finn then sort of recovers and then catches her off guard from behind, and obviously then BB-8 with the Walker sort of taking on everybody. That was pretty awesome. But she actually, if you go and watch that again, she's pretty awesome at fighting. And we don't know. Hey, we don't even know if she's gone. She just falls into a flame. She
survived the trash compactor.
Exactly.
Surely.
So I reckon she'll come back. I don't know, but that'd be cool. I reckon she might come back. Some of the things that were a bit annoying. What do you think?
The whole casino scene, I do agree.
Yeah.
Some of that was a bit more drawn out than it needed to be.
Yeah.
I like how they tried to bring the rest of the universe into it. They kind of touched on the whole idea of slavery, of all the morally grey people that exist in this universe.
Probably
like
didn't need
DJ.
it. I think there were probably I think there was already enough themes going
Yeah,
on.
I feel they did put
Yeah.
quite a bit into this movie, and they were a little bit ambitious, and sometimes
Yeah.
that did come out a bit as just a little bit too much. There
Yeah.
is a reason it's the longest Star Wars movie to date.
What did you think about the little porgs?
So it was cute. I actually quite enjoyed that first scene where Chewbacca just is absolute savage, straight out roasting some porgs in front of some other porgs, and they're just watching it crying.
I thought it was funny.
Maybe it overdid it a little bit towards the end, but you know what? I didn't hate it. I wished we had more of those crystal wolf things because they were absolutely amazing and we didn't get them enough.
Did you like those? The crystal critters? That's
Yeah.
what they call them.
Crystal critters, yeah.
I
It was
thought
a
they were
really
a bit
cool
weird.
vision.
I thought they looked like some weird Pokemon.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
I thought the porg. I thought, wow, those porgs are kind of weird, but they were cute. They
Yeah.
were silly, which actually added a bit of Star Warsness to it, I think, as well. And also they acted as they shared moments with the audience. So I noticed this more on the second time I watched it, but that scene where they're in the Millennium Falcon and there's a little porg just sort of looking out the window and
Yeah.
his eyes are just like bulging open and he's just like screaming. That's exactly how you felt as an audience member.
No, yeah,
So
definitely.
there was that empathy. So you were like, there was somebody there enjoying it with you, watching this amazing like Chewie like pilot the ship while Rey's like dominating on the laser
Yeah.
gun. That was kind of cool. Yeah. The Finn and Rose dialogue, I thought someone's got a little bit cheesy.
Sometimes I felt it was a little bit forced. I don't really know why they...
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, from the moment that they first started running out of fuel, they said something like, we've got 18 hours of fuel left. And then within those 18 hours, somehow, Rose and Finn, who have never met before, yeah, sure, they met in the middle of adversity, suspended bridge effect, whatever.
Yeah.
But then they suddenly go to becoming this super close couple. Oh, sorry.
I thought it was really cheesy when she said about the line about, you know, you don't go into battle, you know, fighting off the ones you hate, but saving the ones you love, and then they kiss,
yeah.
and then they kiss, and then she faints. So I was sort of like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, she's not gonna die.
that was a
No
bit
chance.
that was a bit too corny. I thought that didn't quite work.
Yeah.
What's your overall impression?
Overall impression, I love the angle that they took a lot of the characters. I love what they did with Leia, because they still tried to do that nod back to her being a badass princess. She still shot Poe dead on, but then at the same hand, she's not the same kind of resistance leader she was back in the day. They took the old characters in a very different slant, but it all worked out. So I think the silent or the haters, yes, fine, I agree, there were a lot of downsides to the movie, but we need to focus on the good sides, and there were so many of them.
Yeah, there was so many of them. It's very hard to make something old new again, and I think they've more than succeeded on that. I think Rian Johnson did a really amazing job with his whole film, and good on him to get him to do more. I really did feel like watching a Star Wars movie for the first time. It was an amazing experience, and I'm really looking forward to the next film.
It's going to be.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. We might see the little kid like take on Kylo with the broom.
I think it's a bit soon, but it could happen.
Like a force broom power or something.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Anyway, if you like that, chuck us a like, chuck us a subscribe below.
Yeah, subscribe to this channel. We hope you enjoyed that review, and we look forward to doing some more reviews in the future.
Alright, catch you guys. May the force be
Peace
with
out,
you.
guys. May the force be with you.